Make sure I got my board a little closer because it's going to be one of those nights. Make sure I got my octaves right. My lighting right now, turn me up in the headphones. Always wanted to say that like I was a rapper. Remember I was a rapper some time ago. I used to wear headphones and get it popping. New York City, tri-state area. Y'all know what we do around these parts.
And now for our feature presentation.
Mike. Welcome back to another episode of Live on Broadway podcast. Per usual, greetings and salutations to you all. Welcome back to another episode of Live on Broadway podcast, where the situations matter more than the relationships. Perspectives will be respected by everybody. If this is you guys' first time tapping in, don't be easily threatened or angered, because much like you, every giant here first started off as a perfect stranger. We ask everybody tap in and get in tune with what we doing on Live on Broadway podcast by simply like, commenting, and subscribing on YouTube, Live on Broadway podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you like to consume your podcast, Live on Broadway podcast. Make sure you tap in with me, Broadway the Giant, on Instagram, @IM_Broadway. You hear me? We got some things tapped in and we're going to talk about tonight. First and foremost, how you say it, Nas? What's wrong with my mouth? Greetings and salutations to my YouTube followership, viewership. Shout out to you guys, Terica, Lolo. Y'all know the vibes. Hit them comments, hit that like button, comment and subscribe. If you're watching us on Instagram, go over to YouTube and see the way that we meant to be streamed. So then make your way back over here so you can be part of the conversation. Hit the button, I'll bring you guys up. Now, I got to drive slow, homie. You never know, homie. It's going to be one of those. Temp check. Pull. Click. You now listening to Live on Broadway podcast. I had a very nice weekend. I'll start with me. I got Lala up here with me. I'll get to you in a second. Terica, what's happening with it? Click. Allie, you know what's up. I had a very nice weekend. Over the weekend, Vanilla Skies, we had this really nice Haitian shindig. It was really nice, man. I felt like it was over like 350 people out there. Check my stories. Y'all follow me on Instagram. Y'all see and know what's popping. Make sure y'all tap in with Vanilla Skies JC on Instagram, where we film out of, and get acclimated to what's happening in the vibes. Hopefully we put on a nice show for you tonight to make you a constant follower, subscriber of the pod, relationships podcast. That's what we talk about. And yeah, I had a good weekend, you know. Didn't get a chance to chill as much as I would have liked to. But I look better when I'm at work anyway. Lala, how was your weekend, Queen? Tap in with us.
Hello, everybody. Hello. My weekend was dope. I spent time with my daughter. And I went to a birthday party. So shout out to Ann. It was like Revenge of the Nerds, and we let our hair down, and we had like a lot of fun. So.
I love it. Letting your hair down is always a good thing, right? Letting your hair down is always a good thing, especially when it's done all cute and whatnot. You know, we got a lot to talk about. So it's going to be one of those pods. So I'm not going to hold you guys up too long. If you guys want to hit the button and join the pod. Yana, hit the button, Queen. Join the pod. Your voice.
That's my godmom.
Hey, godmom. Your voice matters, and something tells me you're going to want to hit the button anyway. Soon come. So we was talking about some things behind the scenes before we actually start the pod. And it wasn't even a topic that we were going to discuss, but I felt as though, you know, being that we're here on LOBP, let's have a conversation about it. Live on Broadway podcast. there's been some talk going on around outside in regards to, you saw the Grammys? You saw the Grammys?
I didn't. I saw a clip, but I didn't see the Grammy.
Okay. Hold on.
Oh, Collective is here.
Shout out to my guy Collectors tapping in. Yes, sir. Yes, Lord. I appreciate the badges, salutations, beloved. I appreciate the support. Of course I do. I appreciate the support. If I could just get my mic right. Is this thing on, Nas? I think it is. Anyway, so over the weekend, the Grammys. So the Grammys, if you haven't watched it, 2024 Grammys, Beyonce didn't win Album of the Year. Hov jumps on stage. Hov says a few things in regards to Beyonce having 32 Grammys, the most Grammys any one artist has ever had, but not winning the artist of the album of the year. So Hov jumps on the stage. She says some empowering words, and I'm here for it, right? I think I might have even came in here in previous pods and played it. But young lady by the name of Tiffany Red. Well, before I go to get to Tiffany, the way the Grammys work is when you win Artist of Album of the Year, that means not only you as the artist get the award, but everybody that worked on your album get the award, right? The producers get the award, the writers get the award. In most cases, they say that Taylor Swift writes all her music, right? Beyonce doesn't write all her music, but she's Beyonce, right? Now, I'm part of the Beehive. This isn't any slander, but when they start showing you what's going on and they break the third wall, right? Or fourth wall, excuse me, you start to see more and learn more, and then it starts to make sense as to why B probably didn't win the Album of the Year award. I'm gonna play something by a young lady by the name of Tiffany Red. She's a writer, right? The way artists make their money is through publishing, right? Being an artist one time many moons ago, once upon a time, not too long ago, I'm admitting it. But I'm gonna play a thing or two. It's gonna be, it may be kind of lengthy. I'm gonna play it. I might skip a little bit ahead, but y'all gonna get the general idea, all right? Live on Broadway podcast. So let's talk about it.
Y'all call the internet Beyonce's internet. So is it not fair to come to the queen about evolving her business practices? This is not the same music industry it was when she first started. Publishing makes far less money than it used to. If you're not writing the single, you're not making any money. So every percentage that we get of publishing matters because it's all we got and it's worth so much less now. But does that stop her from taking publishing despite that? No. Would I like to see a change? Would other songwriters and producers like to see a change? Yes. How do I know? Because they tell me all the time. It should not be too much to ask a queen to modernize her business and pay songwriters a livable wage. It's not too much to ask. She made $579 million off that Renaissance tour. Ask the writers how much they made. And when I was in the car, I heard that song, My Power by Beyonce. And I was listening to those lyrics and they just started to like bother me. Because I was thinking, listening, and it's saying, you won't take my power. And then when I think about how many songwriters that have written for this woman whose power has been taken, and it made me think about that song, Break My Soul, You Won't Break My Soul. And then I think about how many songwriters' souls have been broken as this woman has taken the publishing, which is the only thing that they have. They're publishing in a big chunk too. You're literally watching Beyonce get more famous, rich, bigger off these lyrics that you write, but you don't have anything to show for it. That's breaking somebody's soul. It makes me think about that song, Freedom. We don't just want to watch you be rich. How's that free? I think Beyonce is a brilliant artist. I also think that Beyonce is a hypocrite. Lyrics of liberation don't pay the people who write them. I talked to somebody yesterday, somebody's a manager of somebody who is a writer and producer on Renaissance, okay? The record is one of y'all faves. The song was written 6 years before it got to Beyonce. She got 25% of the song. I've talked to another writer who wrote and sang on one of your favorite songs. Credit not right, all kind of shit fucked up. His business still isn't handled. Beyonce was on tour last year with that record, with that person's vocals, all that. The reason why people who work for Beyonce don't talk is because they're all on NDAs. Because that's also how she works. She silences people so that nobody can speak. I'm not a writer that's written for Beyonce. I haven't shot my shot at Beyonce because I'm not willing to give her any publishing. Not because I haven't had the opportunity. I've had the opportunity to work with everybody. And I've turned down a lot of stuff because I'm not willing to play these games. There's a massive power dynamic happening. Please don't act like it's easy to negotiate with Beyonce and her team, because it is not. If that was the case, there would not be so many people coming to me like, Tiff, this is how much was taken.
You now listening
It's
to
not
Live on
negotiable.
Broadway
It's not.
podcast.
These are the terms, which means, okay, cool, then we work for you, Beyonce. So that means you're an employer. I remember having a conversation with a writer who wrote on, what was the record Beyonce did after or before Renaissance? I can't remember, whatever the record was. I remember talking to one of the writers and talking to them about how much of the publishing she was taking. And this writer was like, look, Tip, I don't want no smoke with me. Like, I just let her take the publishing. That's bullshit. And you know, the thing that burns me up the most about Beyonce, and this is why I'm speaking about her specifically, is because Beyonce is Queen Bee. Beyonce is a Black artist. Beyonce represents Black excellence. Beyonce's team, like the people who work with her, these writers that I'm talking about that are exploited, they're us. My comments about Beyonce not winning Album of the Year and me saying, you know what, maybe karmically it's not coming to you because of the way that you're doing creatives, I meant that with everything in me.
Wake that up.
I hear the racial discussion and all the things, and I think that has its place.
Hello.
But this has its place too. Beyonce could absolutely reform her business practices. Beyonce could absolutely reform Parkwood's business practices.
All right. Yeah, I get the general idea. I played enough. I want to open up the platform and I want to have a conversation so just to be clear, she never wrote for Beyonce, but she's a writer. And as we all know, what happened with the writer's strike and whatnot, right? Different place, different industry, but the same bottom line. Where writers, they make a living off of their publishing, right? So as a writer, Tiff, what's happening, Tiff? Jump up here. This is a different Tiffany. Tiff, jump up here, right? So as a writer, as an artist, she wrote songs for Tiffany Red. Help me out in the comments. She wrote songs for Rihanna. She wrote songs for a lot of the more prestigious artists. But when it comes to Beyonce, people got a gag order, the NDA. They can't say exactly what it is because simply they can't. And it's a double-edged sword because I understand it from both sides. If you're a writer, I'm Beyonce. I'm not going to give you, your song don't have or get a certain amount of notoriety as it does without me. So as an artist, and I'm taking your song, your music, and I'm singing it, I take it from a 5 to a 10. I'm not discrediting the writer, but I do believe as a writer, as an artist, the artist should get a piece of that percentage of publishing. but 25, 30% is abnormal, right? I'm gonna open up the platform to you, Lala, with a simple question. If you're watching us on YouTube, hit the like button. You guys want to join in the conversation, join Instagram. I'll bring you guys up so you can leave your commentary, jump in the comments. It's simple. Should Beyonce get that much of the percentage? And if so, then how is the 30% warranted because she's Beyonce? Or is it Beyonce can't do no wrong? Is it, again, I'm a fan of Beyonce. I want to have the conversation from a standpoint of fairness. Tap in, Lala.
My answer is gonna be a little bit on the writer's side because I was in the industry and I was an engineer and a writer. And I was registered with ASCAP. So I understand how the industry works to a certain degree. My question is mostly like, where is ASCAP and BMI sitting in all this? Because why aren't they advocating for the writers when it comes to these A-list artists? Like, because they're the go-between. You know what I'm saying? They're supposed to be the middlemen when it comes to percentages and how much publishing rights you're supposed to get when it comes to your residuals, how much you're supposed to get back. So I can't really answer like, well, because she's Beyonce, because I understand what Broadway's saying. Like, I see it from both sides. Like, yeah, because she's Beyonce and she's going to take it all the way around the world. That, you know, the song is going to make a tremendous amount of money. But if I were Tiffany and I wrote the song, I would want my equal share. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, well, I'm only gonna take 15% because, you know, and then sign an NDA and be like, because you're Neo or because you're Bruno Mars or because, you know what I'm saying, you're Beyonce or Jay-Z or whatever. When I was in school, they gave us, like, they broke it down for us. They told us, like, you could, like, these A-list, like, performers could literally only write one word and they get publishing rights. And like they'll literally write one word and they get equal publishing rights. And I was like, are you serious? Like, we write most of the songs and they can literally just sign their name on it or just say like boom, 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 and they get equal publishing rights just off the strength of their name, just off the strength of their artistry. So, you know, I feel like it's a double-edged sword. I do feel like it's unfair. I do feel like, you know, I think that BMI and ASCAP needs to advocate more for the artists. And I feel like that's where Metallica, way back in the late 90s and 2000s, when they was dealing with Napster situation, that's what their whole fight was about, publishing and making sure that they were getting their equal share, you know, when the whole streaming that up was happening. You know what I mean? Like, y'all taking our product and y'all streaming it for free. So that's how streaming services had to start paying. You see what I'm saying? So now it's the same thing. Where it's like now the writers are like, well, now, you know, we want our equal share. So I feel like ASCAP and BMI needs to step up. That's how I feel about
it. Tiff, welcome to the platform, Queen. Welcome to the platform. Appreciate you joining LOBP tonight. Beyonce, Tiffany Red. I don't even think it's a beef between her and, say, Tiffany Red because Tiffany never wrote for her. What I will say is I do like her point of view in regards to if anybody can make a change or start the change, it's Beyonce. If anybody can start to move the dial with having their voice heard, it's Beyonce. And yeah, so to that you say what, Queen?
I'm not really. I was looking at the pinned comment, but I'm not too privy on what's going on with her.
All right, I'll update you. So, and for everybody that's just tapping in on the pod, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Simply make sure you go and follow the podcast on all your DSPs, right? So pretty much, Tiffany Red is a writer in the industry, and she wrote a lot of different music for a lot of different artists, right? And let me see, did they tell me who? All right, cool. So as she's writing a lot of music, she's pretty much stating and whistleblowing and saying, yo, the publishing she gets is like anywhere between 20 and 30% off of a record that she ain't even write. And the people that writes for her, they can't say nothing because they under NDAs. You know, so my question is it fair? Mute up until you're ready to speak, guys. My question to you, Tiff, is simply, is it fair, or should a writer that didn't have anything to do with writing the record receive so much?
No, that's unfair. That's unfair, but at the same time, hold on.
I got you. Tiff is saying it's unfair. And then there's another side to it too, in regards to when Hov is standing up there and he's giving the speech. In all fairness, that's probably why she didn't win, because the board of voters in the Grammys are writers. Hello? The people that's moving the goalpost, the people that's setting the tone and temperature for who's winning these awards are people in the industry, are writers, are producers, are executives. And if the student body knows that there's unhealthy practices when it comes to, say, a Beyonce that's won every other Grammy, but that one pivotal Grammy, I think there's messaging right there. You know, so I wonder, in regards to B, what up though, Benny? In regards to Beyonce, should she, is there fairness happening to that, you say? Tiff?
I think it's unfair all around, but I feel like everybody got their part to play too. So if writers are, signing NDAs, you assume that responsibility. Like, you know what it was. So
wake that up.
Yeah.
That's real. I'm jacking it. So what you're pretty much saying is if you signed up for a job, don't complain about it later. You knew what you was going into.
Right.
Wake that up.
Right.
There's that side to be reflected on too. So it's like a seesaw. It's like, I understand this side, but I understand this side. But this is why Tiffany also said, this is why I never shoot my shot with Beyonce, because I know what it is. But I still know that if somebody got something to say, no pun intended, the South gonna be heard. Tiffany's gonna be heard. And Beyonce is the person that can move the goal, that can move the envelope, that can get the word out as to set the precedent for better practices. And I'm far removed, but I do think that that's perhaps what stopped her from winning the album of the year. I do think that.
I don't think it's fair and I'm not just saying this like because I'm not really a Beehive person, but I'm just going off of facts. So, right, I don't really think it's fair to kind of like point the finger at Beyonce, and I kind of understand where Jay-Z was coming from when he was speaking up for his wife, because I saw something on TikTok about Taylor, right? And y'all remember 3LW?
Yes.
You remember that group?
Yes.
And y'all remember the players gonna play, haters gonna hate song? So
no, I'm not familiar with that record.
Okay, when she was like, again, sick or tired of your broken promises.
Yeah, I remember that. How it go? I'm getting tired of your broken promises, and I remember that.
Taylor actually stole that record and she flipped it. She flipped it and rewrote it to players gonna play, play, but that's that song. And so, but then she got album of the year for it. So that's kind of where Jay-Z was coming from.
Oh wow!
Right.
Right.
So I think that's where his argument was with that, and I think that's what his defense was for his wife when he got on stage, because regardless if Beyonce only wrote one or two words in her albums and she has a team of people, a lot of these, I'm just playing angel's advocate.
Okay.
A lot of these artists have teams of writers. That's the job. That you come in as a writer, you write for them. It's a hard job being an artist. So they hire us, and we write the song, and we present the song, and
Wake
here it is.
that up.
You know what I mean? Like, they got a tour, they got a lot of stuff to do. So that's the job of a songwriter, right? So there's a team of us. We sit at a table, we sit in the studio, we say, okay, we play the track back. We got minutes or hours or however long, and we brainstorm and we write this song together. And what do you want to add? What do you want to contribute to the song? Whether it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words, you contributed to the song. It doesn't matter what the percentages of the money is. The fact is, he felt that his wife deserved album of the year for whatever her contributions were to the song. But the fact is, that girl who won album of the year stole a song and won an award for it. And I think that's what his argument was.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not taking nothing away from the bottom line, because the bottom line is still the bottom line. All I'm highlighting is the unfair treatment in regards to being a writer. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I think a lot of times what ends up happening is somebody say, hey, you invented let's say the knotless braids. Okay, I want to buy into that, and I'm gonna give you $1 million, but I want 10%. I want 50% in perpetuity. Sometimes the writer look at the upfront money and say, "Wow," but when you look at it in the long scheme, in the grand scheme of things, the knotless braid has been in existence for forever. So now you only get 50% out of your IP. And that's the crazy part, right? This conversation we having, right, on this podcast and platform, this is our IP, our intellectual property, right? Until something goes the other type of way, and then everybody starts panicking. Listen.
I agree.
Because
I feel like it's all good, when you got that job, but then when you see like the outcome, it's like, okay, well, where's my, fair share? It's like, you knew what it was from the beginning.
And some artists too, they get. Remember that meme that came out a few years ago, and Jay-Z recently answered it. It was the meme that said, "Would you take $50,000, or would you take dinner or lunch with Jay-Z?" Right? And everybody was like, give me the money, give me the money. Some people say, yo, give me, I'll take the lunch or the dinner, whatever it was. Some people get fixated on the simple idea of the fame and being able to say, hey, I went to lunch with Jay-Z. Jay-Z can't pay your bills after the lunch is over. So Jay-Z said by those metrics, you should obviously take the money, right? I got the money. I'm taking the lunch. Hello?
I'm taking the lunch. I'm taking the lunch.
I'm taking the lunch.
Just off the strength of the conversation, because that's not something that I just feel like that intangibility of the conversation, that's not something you can ever have back. That is just an experience, and just the gems that he would just deposit in you that would just go a long way, you know, and you can just rebuild over time.
I'm taking the money.
You taking the I know that's right, and I ain't mad at you. What's happening, Rubes? I know that's right. The wild card in the building.
Hey, Rubes.
But that's an interesting topic on taking the money, right? Because I kind of think, and this is a topic I want to get into, and I'm going to play something, and I want to get you guys' POV on it. But I kind of want to have a conversation. Oh, man, let me play it because it'll just sound better.
He can't love you properly because he's jealous of you. He cannot love you properly because he is secretly in competition with you. He cannot love you properly because, honestly, if he was to treat you the way that you're really supposed to be treated, and if he was to lift you up to your full potential, then you would recognize that you are too much woman for him. He can't love you properly because, for real, he knows for a fact that he's not supposed to be dating women like
Hold on. We're going to have a conversation tonight, and we're going to do our best to have it fairly.
Because I couldn't hear with all the bombs and stuff.
I got you. It gets exciting. We having a conversation as to why he can't actually love you, baby. I think sometime and somehow in this world that we've formed between heterosexuality, both men and women that join into a union, you end up looking for love in all the wrong places. You know he's outside of your jurisdiction. In a normal world, she would never look at you if you didn't have the bag. He can't love you properly, baby, because he's in competition with you. Let's start from the top. You now listening to Live on Broadway podcast.
He can't love you properly because he's jealous of you. He cannot love you properly because he is secretly in competition with you. He cannot love you properly because, honestly, if he was to treat you the way that you're really supposed to be treated, and if he was to lift you up to your full potential, then you would recognize that you are too much woman for him. He can't love you properly because, for real, he knows for a fact that he's not supposed to be dating women like you. He caught you at a vulnerable moment. He caught you at a point in life where you weren't feeling your best and you wasn't thinking your best. And he slid in there and act as if he was the best thing for you at that time in your life. But what you really didn't know was he was a leech, and he's sucking on you for dear life, and he's holding on you for dear life, because if he lets you go, your life improves. His declines tremendously. You're sleeping with the enemy and you don't even know it. That's why he can never be proud for you. That's why he never encourages you. That's why he never supports you, because if he really lets you really tap into your full potential, you'll realize that you don't need him. Am I lying?
Tonight I want to have a conversation that echoes the sentiment of why is he in competition with you? There's a lot of men out here that's in competition with you, ladies. There's a lot of onus that falls on the shoulders of your hard work. there's a lot of responsibility that you're not seeing because you're keeping your head down and you're doing the work. I want to talk to the ladies specifically tonight. Sometimes you're not the problem. The person you're choosing is. At what point do you start to get past simply acknowledging, yes, you got it going on. You get to your own bag. You know how to be submissive to the man that echoes and show you he can be a leader, but he can't love you simply because he's in competition with you. It's impossible. Everything you do, he tries to one-up you. It's not that you're not enough. You keep picking the wrong type of man that wants to be in competition with you. I want to bend the ear of the listeners. And I want to tap in with you specifically first, Tiffany, and ask, is there any credence to this narrative? Ladies.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I actually went live about this earlier, but kind of just talking about how women who support a man, you know, and neglect themselves, and then once that man get on and goes to the next level and decides that, you know, he wants to leave her, and it's like, what? I feel like you gotta like really read the room from early on, because women have a way of not saying nothing just for the sake of peace when we know some shit is not right. So a man will definitely be in competition with you, but still let you help their ass. And I mean, really like have you fund their dreams, their career. So you got to stop doing things out of expectation and get clarity. So to just weed some shit out, because men really be in competition with women nowadays, and it's sad, but women have to do a better job at being clear, like, yo, are you benefiting us? Like, are we winning together? Like, this is not a me versus you thing. But at the same time, limit what you give. So, because takers have no limit. And at the same time, they could be going against you while you trying to be a good person and a good woman, being supportive, loving them. And they got this whole hidden agenda. So, yeah, a man will never love you if he's in competition with you. But it's time in this generation to really have our eyes open and really pay attention to the red flags and stop ignoring them for the sake of being with some damn body. But yeah, if somebody's in competition, they're incapable of loving you. They don't love you.
She panicking. The accountability is at an all-time high. Hello, talk that talk, Tiff. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Lala.
Yeah.
Being one of the fair share women in the room right now, and listeners to that, you say what? And jump in the comments, hit the like button on YouTube viewership, tap in. Let us know what's happening with it. What up, La? Have you ever dated a man that's been in competition with you? Let me just weed out the white noise. Let's talk about that. Personal experience. What up?
Yeah. I have. He looked me dead in my face and told me that I didn't need his money because I'm going to be a doctor one day.
That he didn't need your money because he's going to be...
I didn't need his money, or I didn't need him because I'm going to be a doctor one day.
The balls.
Yeah.
The gall. Bitch.
My right hand. He said that he basically told me that I was going to supersede him in life. And I didn't need to take nothing from him because I'm going to be better than him.
Wow.
And he also told me I was smarter than him.
And what did that boost your morale? Did that boost your ego? How did that make you feel? Because it sounded like, and excuse me, but it sounds like he was pouring into you. What was the gaslighting?
He wasn't pouring.
Gaslighting.
Gaslighting.
No, he wasn't.
That's what he was doing.
Pouring into me. I knew right then in that moment that who sent him. He was an agent of the enemy because he was the author of confusion. That spirit of the spirit of discernment kicked in for me. Because I was sitting there looking at him like, what?
Collector said, with all due respect, where do y'all find these men?
Collectors, at that time, I was already 10 years deep. That was my husband. So, sorry, not sorry. I mean, I was looking at him like, what? I was already 3 kids in. Like, why are you talking
So
to me?
he
like
never exuded any of these passive aggressive, because that's what it is. He's being passive aggressive. He didn't exude any of these gaslighting characteristics prior to the first child or marriage?
No, he did, but I just didn't.
See,
I didn't love myself enough to walk away in the beginning. I felt like in the beginning I had to prove a point, or I felt like he did something in the beginning, and I was like, no, I gotta fight for this. I think, yeah, because he had ghosted me, and at the time he was in Iraq, and that's when the gaslighting kicked in. But at the time, I didn't know what it was. You know what I'm saying? So he was like playing mind games in the beginning, and because he was away, you know what I'm saying? But I wasn't picking up on it. So I was like, oh, I gotta show him that I care, and I gotta fight. And that's how
that saving syndrome. That saving syndrome. I have to. Oh, you told me this. Let me prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, and then after that, and you do too much of that, you look up. One day becomes 1 year.
Yep, and that's when it clicked for me a year later, when I was like, oh no, what's going on here? And I was like, I gotta get out.
So wait. Excuse me for cutting your wisdom, Queen. I wanna come right back, but what's up with women feeling like they need to save men? Is that nurturing energy spirit on you guys? Because I have a few homegirls.
But I could speak for myself. Like,
sure.
I felt like, I guess what Mama Bear is saying right now is like, yeah, I guess trauma bonding, because in the beginning he was telling me about, you know, like how he grew up and the childhood traumas and stuff like that. And I guess I felt like I needed to help, because that's like the person I am. Like, I wanted to help. And yeah. And then I just felt like after a while, it's like I can't help the situation anymore. And it wasn't until my son was born, really, when I was like, no, I can't. I don't want my son to be like this. More or less my daughters, but I was like, I don't want my son to be like this.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah. Mhm.
I just wonder to what capacity. Well, was that your first time experiencing that?
No, unfortunately.
So, I mean, when I asked, was it your first time, did you experience it before or after that situation?
I would say before. I experienced that before, but with him, that was like the worst.
Yeah.
That was the worst, because it was like abuse, and it was bad. It was bad.
it's always sad, and of course, you know, Queen, I apologize that you had to go through that. You know, that's not anything that anyone would or should have to go through. You know, yeah, just move that chair. You good? That's not anything anyone should have to go through. It's one of those things where he was suffering from a certain amount of deficiency. You know what I mean? Because more often than not, they say when you're working out, if you start working out before it starts to take away from the muscle, right? Before you start to form the muscle, the fat is being converted first, right? Because the fat comes first. And then once you get past the fat and you start working out long enough, this is why people never see the results. But there's a lesson what I'm trying to say here, right?
Right.
Once you get past the fat, then you get to the muscle. Most people never get to the muscle because they too busy entertaining. They never work out long enough to burn off the fat. So they get discouraged because they never see the results that they want soon enough. But simply put, is not that it's not working out, it's that you didn't get past the fat first. So why am I saying, go ahead.
No, but to be completely transparent, I have to take responsibility too, because there was deficiency within me too. It wasn't all on him. There were certain things that I was lacking. I thought that I was ready for certain things, and I wasn't. I thought that I could handle certain situations. I couldn't. And to be completely honest, even though that relationship broke me, I'm grateful for it. I'm internally grateful for it because I learned a lot about my strength. I learned a lot about my worth. I learned a lot about, again, what I'm going to tolerate, what I'm not going to tolerate. I know, how to read people better. Just life in general. It's not even about relationships anymore. It's just about people. Friendships. Like I remember one podcast where you specifically said, I got high risk friends and I'm gonna go across the street. And then when they finish doing what they do, I'm gonna come across the street. And I listened to you and I went across the street with some people. I ain't come back across the street. I left them.
I know that's right.
I left, and some people just like, dang, you're not talking to, no. Because I can read the room. I see now. I see what you're doing. But it was from certain, unfortunately, certain things that have triggered me. That's like, oh, I remember that situation because I went through that with that person. Oh, I remember that day that when he slammed me on the floor. Oh, I remember when he left me with no money and I had to figure out how to pay my mortgage. Oh, I remember when I had to figure out how to get food for me and the kids. Oh, I remember when, what I'm saying? Yeah. So.
Lala, your laugh has always been infectious, right? It just makes the room want to smile, right? And I remember my first time meeting you in real life, right? And the laughter is just that. The excitement is just that, right? So the Lala that I know and have come to know, is a beautiful inside out person. You know what I mean? And I also know or assess rather sometimes not too much on you or nor him or anyone in that matter, but sometimes we get ourselves in situations long before we're ready for them, right? Sometimes we find ourselves in situations that eclipses our years beyond years, right? Simply meaning you're dealing with your significant other and he or she may be in a place, but keeping it what it's on, she may be in a place that you're particularly not in right now. But when that happens, as much as it is his responsibility to acknowledge that, his ego probably kicked in, and he said, I'm just gonna stay here for the ride and get what I can, right? And become and be in competition with you, opposed acknowledging and saying, hey, I'm really not equipped to be in this situation. But then on the reverse into it, and this is why a lot of women that find men attractive never really give them a chance, in my opinion, because you guys see and know we ain't yoked. There's some imbalances, there's some deficiencies, there's some lack thereof, things that's there that you won't be able to sustain my caliber of woman. You won't be able to rise to the occasion and do as my father, the great men I saw around me, treat me and respect me. Unfortunately, a lot of our women were raised in single parent homes. So they don't really understand, and to add insult to injury, single mom homes, right? So they don't really, some women, not all, they don't know or understand how a man is supposed to treat them. And there becomes a big question mark on what or how to identify a great man. Some women I know come from traumatic backgrounds, but way before they actually had their experience with men, and they think that a man being physical is he loves me. They think that a man, is supposed to do certain things, and that equates to them loving you. But in all actuality, that's a bit abusive, right? And we all know there's different forms and levels of what abuse look and sound like. And just because you argue, that don't mean it's verbal abuse. I also want to highlight that. An argument don't mean it's verbal abuse. Now, when you start saying you fat BIT, when you start doing that and diminishing a person's character as to their appearance, when you that becomes something else. But I just wanted to highlight that, Lala, and I'm gonna get to you, Tiff. But I just think that from the sounds of it, and in respect to your accountability and realizing that it wasn't just all on him, we got to realize and wake up the idea of a lot of times we don't be the right person for the right person. To that, I yield to you, Tiff.
Yeah, that was some real stuff on Broadway. And Lala, thanks for sharing. I know you touched, like you talked about the past, and I'm just sorry that you had to go through that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I wanted
But
to
she's still cute, though. Hello.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you.
I want to allude to what you said about women needing, wanting to save somebody, and that just speaks volume to. It's more on maybe what we're going through. It's kind of like
talk about it.
Like experiencing trauma and then saving somebody who's going through something traumatic. It kind of like makes us like the value in us kind of makes us feel like, okay, I have the ability, I have the power.
Quell, just hold on, Tiff. Quell, just mute up until you're ready to speak, King. Salute. Go ahead, Tiff, my bad.
So often when we're trying to save someone, it's almost like a deflection of what's really going on inside of here. And because we're making somebody else happy, we're trying to save somebody, we're trying to like take the weight and just make someone else's life better. It's easier to, shift our focus on our internal healing or what we got to do because, we're doing that for someone else. And then we end up getting effed over in the long run. Girl. But yeah, it's just like a deflection of what we're going through because we're not allowing ourselves to really see the trauma within us or the areas that we need to fix within ourselves because we're focused on trying to fix somebody else. And that also, as a woman, kind of like puts us on some hierarchy quote, and I say that in quotes of like, you know, that differentiates you from other women because you have like some ability to make someone change. And yeah,
You know what, sis? You just woke up something. I just thought about it. When I met him, my best friend just committed suicide like months before, and that's where, because I was like, when Broadway asked me that question, like, why did you feel like you needed to help? And I was like, oh, I just thought about it. My best friend had this past, like, right before we had got together. Yeah. And I was in deep mourning from that. Like, I wasn't sleeping. My sister and I, we had grown up together. It was the four of us, and I felt a real deep void. And I miss her to this day. Her birthday is Valentine's Day, and I refused to celebrate Valentine's Day. And so this was the first Valentine's Day in like 15 years that I actually did something. So yeah, I just thought about it actually.
Well, keep that same energy so that when you find the next man, he ain't got to take you out for Valentine's Day and spend no money. No, don't celebrate Valentine's Day. No, forget about Valentine's Day, Schmalentine's Day.
I want it all.
No, it's overrated.
I want the flowers. I want all of it.
No. You gotta mourn on Valentine's Day. You gotta sing. You gotta sit in a dark room with some Kleenex and love on you. And
Valentine's Day. I was looking at her picture the other day. Kenya loves her birthday.
R.I.P. Kenya. In fact, I think you're cheating. And if you are dating somebody now, wink, wink. I think you're cheating him or yourself out of mourning and just being there for yourself. I think you need to love on yourself on Valentine's Day.
First of all, and second of all, her birthday was Valentine's Day. So
her birthday. I think you need to go out and take her out on Valentine's Day.
Take who out?
She gonna be third wheeling on that day. She gonna be there.
Anyway, what up, Quell? What's happening with you, Ed Quell?
Sam, brother, what's going on?
What's going on with you, man? Hey, right now I'm watching this show on Netflix called MLK it's called Genius, right, on Netflix. MLK and it's about Malcolm X, their time and growing up. And when you jump up here with the Malcolm, with the you know what I mean? It gives me intellectual. It gives me, you about to smoke our boots. You about to add some value to the pod. Greetings. It's always good to see you on the platform, beloved. Right now we're having a conversation simply about men that be in competition with women, right? Mm-hmm. And I want to, I guess the more appropriate way to ask you or have you relate to the topic, King, is simply asking, have you ever been in competition with someone knowing that right now you're not supposed to be with her, but you're perhaps there because you know she's out of your league. What's the name of that show? What was the name of that movie? She's Not That Into You. You know that under normal pretenses, if she knew the truth, she wouldn't be that into you, but you perhaps borrowed moments from her that wasn't particularly yours.
No, I think a lot of the problems that I had, what I would do is I would be with people that I know didn't fit in my life. So I know that I needed, I wasn't always being myself. You know what I'm saying? So I would present myself in a certain way, and based off of what I thought that person wanted. Not based off of who I really was, but based off of what I thought they would like. And I think that's what a lot of people do, especially as dudes. We try to be, or either the person tries to get someone to be something else, or we try to be something that we know we can't maintain. And a lot of times when you try to do a lie and try to start being something that you're not, it's hard to maintain that thing.
Wake
and then
that up.
you got to keep right on doing it. And then eventually it catches up to you.
It catches up to you.
You got to remember the lies. You got to remember what you did, how you did it, and what way you did it.
Yep.
And when you being your genuine self, then they like, well, you used to not do this, but you did this. And so which is real? So then they got to figure out who you really are and figure out whether the relationship is even worth salvaging because you presented them with something false. So I just think that people a lot of times I think the biggest problem is that we got to stop trying to get people to be something that they will never be and allow someone to be their natural self without us trying to influence them based off of what we think is what we think we want in a relationship rather than letting them just be a person.
Boss. I felt that. Pause. I wonder, because I've been in a situation, right? Share my own testimony. I've been in situations where I think season 2 on the pod, I've come up on here and shout out to the Brooklyn Pisces. Somebody hit the Brooklyn Pisces on Instagram. He let me see if I could even get him up here and tag him in here. Let me see if I could get him up here because he was there for season 2, right? And I came up on the pod and I said, hey, look, I want to be in competition with my significant other. Hello? And at the time, it's probably 2018, 19, 18, one of the two, 18. It's 2018. And I'm like, no, I want to be in competition. Yeah, hell yeah. I don't want to be in a relationship if I can't compete with my significant other. So the whole room erupted. You want to be in competition with your boo, 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 blah, 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 blah. And I'm looking at the room like, y'all weirdos. Why would y'all want to be in a relationship and not be in competition? But we was hearing it from two different sides. They was hearing it from how you guys are hearing it. Why you want to, if I have to be with you, I shouldn't be in competition with you, right? That's what they was hearing.
So when you say competition, are you saying like, because I can understand that. Like if we got a little bit of thing where we kind of go having this back and forth where we kind of driving for something, but at the end of the day, we can have like almost like a rivalry. Is that kind of what you're describing, like a rivalry? Like we kind of
not so much a rivalry, but more so. Oh, you went to the gym 5 times this week? Oh, it's up. I'm going 6. Oh, you stood in the gym for 5 hours? I'm staying for 6 hours. Oh, how many books this month you read? Oh, it's up. I'm reading double that.
So you're looking at it more as a push.
A motivation. That's how I looked at it, as a motivation. I want to be in a relationship with someone that motivates me. That I'm not just the person that's cracking a whip, right? I want to be with someone who's financially pushing me, and I'm even if I'm the breadwinner, right? Because if we don't got to make the same amount of money, but if I know you went in and you did, let's say 12 hours at your business, and once I learned that, I'm trying to do 24 hours. Because that's just my spirit. I have a competitive spirit, right? Where I like to motivate people. I like to pour into people. I like to big people up. So in return, I keep people around that likes to do that to me. I always say on this podcast, it's easy to understand a woman. Because once you meet her and you see the things that she's doing for you, just do it for her. If she's taking you out to certain places, take her out to the same type of places or something that's equal in value. If she likes to cook you food, surprise her every now and again and cook her food, right? And whatever it might be.
So what you're describing is reciprocity.
Yes,
that's more or less what you're describing. But I think a lot of people don't understand that because a lot of things is that like if you give something, because this is what I describe love as. At its base is loyalty and sacrifice. It's what you're willing to give to someone and what you're willing to give up for them.
Okay.
That's what it all comes down to. But we complicate it to start adding. We associate it only with the feelings of infatuation, of if I like you or not, or if you're doing something, or if you're doing something for me. But it's like, look, if I love you, I'm gonna do this irregardless. Like, love ain't based off of if I love you. Love is based off of because I love you. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people want. I want you to love me, but you should love me because I love you. That's not how love works. Like, just because you love somebody, they're not required to love you back. They're not required to.
Right. I just want to say something with to Broadway's point. So, like, as far as like a healthy competition, that's like you on the same team. You got a teammate, and y'all trying to get a certain score. Like, y'all trying to be the winning team. So it's like a football, right? You going to push your teammate. Like, how many push-ups you doing? You did 100. All right, I'm gonna do 200. But it's not like, oh, I'm trying to come for your spot. That's the difference. I think that's when the competition is like, no, I'm gunning for your spot. You know, I'm trying to take from you. I'm trying to one up on you versus we all on the same team. I'm just trying to get us to the winning spot.
Because if we're working together, then that means your credit score is what? Oh, I'm bugging out this time. I'm paying bills that I'm looking for bills and new things to take loans out on so I could pay it back the day of. Figuratively, of course. You know what I mean? So that type of thing helps us together and builds our togetherness, right? Because if you got a 700 and I got an 850, what that mean? We creme de la creme, right? We're chef's kiss. We're walking into anywhere, we're buying any house, any car, no money down, only paying the closing. That's it, right? So I think that competition is good when there's a healthy amount of it. You know, and I want to ask Lala, and then I'll circulate it. And Giants, tap in with us on YouTube viewership. Jump in the comments. What's a healthy form of competition? Lala, you first.
I think it's just everything that everybody described, but I don't like to use the word competition because I can get tainted into some really murky waters. I like reciprocity.
Motivation,
because because when you compete with someone, you can switch real easy, and then that person becomes your enemy. And when you from an athletic background, you're looking at that person like, okay, I got to take you down. You know, we're not friends anymore. So, that could turn evil real quick, and I've seen that not only in my own personal relationships, but I've seen that in other people. So yeah, no, you want to have equal give and take. You want to have a healthy boundary. You want to be able to communicate your equal give and take. Like, it could turn evil. Like, you seen that movie Joy Luck Club? And
Good Luck Club?
Joy Luck Club. And the daughter Lena, her first husband was like, he was like penny pinch, and he was like, okay, well, I bought the cat litter, so you get the ice cream, like every little thing. And she was like, this isn't love. Like, just because I bought this, like, he was like, well, it's your cat. And she was like, so what? If he penny pinched every little thing with them, and it was miserable. And it just didn't work. And so it turned really bad really quickly. So, you know, yeah. That's my answer.
At Quell?
I think you just got to know the rules of the game. I don't think competition's bad. It's only bad when you lose sight of what the goal and objective is and what the rules of the game are. The reason why it gets toxic is because we lose sight of the rules of the game. We lose sight of what we're actually aiming to do. If you notice it, any time in any sport, the reason why somebody winds up losing is because somebody was not doing their job. Somebody wasn't on their assignment. Somebody wasn't in place. Look at any dynasty team.
Wake
Jordan,
that up.
Jordan and the Bulls. Look at them. Every single last one of them people knew their job and they stayed on their job.
Yeah.
Steph Curry and the Warriors. Everybody knew their job. Everybody knew what they were doing. That's why they were great. You don't get to be great by not knowing your assignment. When you know your assignment, when you know what you're doing, when you know what the rules of the game, you cannot lose.
I agree.
I'll take it a step further. I think a lot of times because if I'm in a relationship with Lala, it don't work, then I meet Tiffany. I can't apply what Lala needed me to be for Lala with Tiffany. Hello? Mm-hmm. Right? So when that happens, now we're in a situation where we need
you
to
compartmentalize.
That too. We need to have a conversation, me and Tiffany, to say, hey, Tiff, how do you like me to treat you under these pretenses? Mm-hmm. And I love pretenses because I like to talk about the stuff that hasn't happened yet. Right? So if we're walking down the street or we come to Live on Broadway podcast or a comedy show and there's some old work in there of mine, how do you respond to that? Do you want to know? Do you want me to tell you after? If there's a situation and I see something going on and there's some beef or something, a fair question for her to ask is, hey, do you want me to intervene? Right. Do you wanna go to? Can I send you somewhere off? Say, hey, take these keys and go over here. Do this. I'm gonna handle this. I'll meet you back at the house. How do you want me to show up for you? Right. You know what I mean? I do have something I want to jump into, and it's the perfect segue because recently, Monique was on Shannon Sharp. Shay Club.
Again?
No. It's the same show, right? But Monique's son had something to say about.
I was gonna send this to you, but I wasn't sure.
Monique's son had something to say, and then in response, the competition. Mm-hmm. Monique then responds. Live on Broadway podcast. Let's talk about it. As soon as I can get this thing up. Oh, no, that's clearly not it. Here we go.
My son. My oldest.
Put up by.
My son. My oldest son, Shalon. And this is what I want to say to this. There are some people that are saying, oh, you should be ashamed of your mothering skills. You should be ashamed of yourself. This is what I'll say. Let's let it play out. Because the same ones that said to me, I was crazy, I was deranged, we watched it play out. So just like with my son, we'll watch this play out. And I do want to address this though, Shalon. When you say her daddy, then that's when mommy gonna say stop playing, because you know this has been Uncle Sid your whole life. Uncle Sid knew you before you knew you. So for you to say her 3 sons, yes, you're absolutely right. He has 3 sons. He can't claim you as his son because he's always been Uncle Sid, and he knows your daddy very well.
And love that brother. And the irony of all of this is not what is said, but what's left off.
Yes.
See, you're leaving off the fact that the last time we laid eyes on you, your mother got you everything you needed for the newborn baby about 3 years ago. You're forgetting about how I, from Georgia, am talking you through getting your car after we gave you the half the down payment for it, put up by
my son.
The fuck?
My oldest son.
Oh my God.
The fuck?
Fuck is you talking about?
I ain't gonna say nothing. Somebody just say something, please.
None of this should have happened on the internet. Like
that part.
I think we have become addicted. Attention has become the hottest drug in the world, And I think that we don't value how relationships the way that we should. We get mad about the fact that we like it when it's good for us, but then when it doesn't go the way that we want it to, then we're upset. Then people shouldn't say anything. Then it's the exact opposite. So I just think that I said a long time ago, that I just felt like this whole situation with her and how they exposed things. I never agreed with it. I felt like if you're going to take care of business and you're going to be standing on business and you're going to be out here dealing with people in a certain way, you shouldn't be doing it in this type of way. But hey, that's how y'all want to handle y'all business. By all means, do that. But I don't personally agree with that, because I just think that, what a man sows, that she shall ask, that's also he shall reap. So just know that karma is a bitch. So
Right, yeah. I don't like to see, like, especially family, parents and their kids go back and forth with each other online. But I also think it's irrelevant to pinpoint everything you do as a parent and bring finances up. Like, especially it sounds like he had like a child and they did things for like the grandkids. I think it's really low down to kind of say what you bought. If you don't have that love in your heart as a parent, as a grandparent, then you're just not a good person. I'm sorry.
Make it make sense.
Lala, I'd love to hear your opinion.
Lala, before you give your opinion, tell the people what the son said. She disappeared. I would too if I could, but I can't. I feel like crawling under a rock. It's so disparaging to see that type of behavior from Black and brown people.
Make it make sense.
I'm not gonna lie though. I would be remiss if I didn't say, why do Monique need to show up every time with her manager, her husband, on the camera? Why does he need to? Because each you know what, Lala, please. I have some jokes, and I don't want to be insensitive, but I do know and have noticed a common thread with Monique in saying something. Don't say nothing. Deal with these problematic matters and issues behind the scenes. Because then it becomes simply the dog that's crying wolf. We can't differentiate what's real and what's, because it all, like, who knows? This could be a rollout for something. Her name is out there, and we all know, to what Quells just said, everybody seems to be running after and going after the salacious moment or another. Let it be whatever it is. Let it be whatever it is. Switch with me. Go ahead, Lala. Why is your head cut? I feel like doing the same thing, Lala. If I had hair, I would do the same thing.
It's just cringeworthy at this point. Okay, so I was minding my black ass business like I always do. I was on TikTok just scrolling, and then I saw what her son posted, and I was like, oh, I could send this to Broadway. But I was like, no, because he said he don't want to talk about Monique anymore. So I was like, I'm just going to leave it alone. I wish I did. And he wrote this letter. He wrote this letter because he said he didn't want to get emotional. And he was talking about how his aunt raised him and how she was more of a mother to him than she was, and how they never want, like, they both didn't want to have, like, to repair their relationship, and she called him her husband, his her daddy, and something about she's more focused on the boys who are now grown men, and they have a better relationship with her, and he thought about bringing his daughter around, but I was just like, this is so toxic. But I didn't want to judge him. I was just like, okay, I just want to listen because maybe he just needs to be heard or something. I felt conflicted. So now I'm listening to the other side, and she's just talking about, we paid for this and we did this for you. And then she's like, and you know why you can't call him daddy because he's your uncle. And I'm just like, what kind of incestuous bullshit is this? Like,
hello?
What are we doing?
Hello?
What is this? I
Hello?
don't understand. You're just adding salt to the wound, and it's just toxic. And I want a bar bucket.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. When she was on Club Shay Shay, I was like, okay. When she was caping for Cat, I was like, okay, I'm just, give her the benefit of the doubt. And now I just feel like at this point, you just putting your foot in your mouth and you just should just stop. That's
this is not the same Nikki Parker. What happened to Nikki Parker?
I don't know. I was done when she said, this is your uncle, and she got Uncle Grandpa over there. Like, I don't know. I'm done. I'm so over it. Like, I'm so over it.
I don't know. Nikki Parker was loving, nurturing. She was unproblematic. I don't know. This Monique is something different.
Wake that up.
I think I think we live in a time in a society where we have sold our soul for validation and an attempt to be heard, where simply put, less is more sometimes. And you old school too. You come across like somebody auntie, and it's unfortunate. But I do feel, or rather believe, it's in an adult's place to rise above no matter what a child is doing and examine. What's an exhibit? What is an exhibit? What am I saying? Examine. Exhibit.
Examine.
Exhibit characteristics of being the adult. Because you know how the old saying goes, don't argue with fools because people from a distance can't tell who is who. You understand me? So in this case, I don't know if it's Monique, if Monique is wrong or if the son is wrong. It just looks bad. If as the patriarch, as the higher ups, the hierarchy of the family, I would assume the role of Beyonce, of what's her name? Monique being better.
But what do we really expect at this point? I mean, it's the equivalent of what we expect from Will and Jada, where everybody's just surprised at what Jada does at this point. At this point, I expect her to do this because that's what she's been doing. She's been doing this. She's not going to change from this. And the thing is, just like, I'm when at a certain point, I'm just like, hey, if you feel like that's making your life better, go for it. But at this point, I'm just not giving it any attention. I'm not going to even look in that direction because a lot of times when you what's the old saying?
Don't mess it up like I did.
So more or less, like you reward bad behavior by giving it attention. Mm-hmm. So it's like if we keep giving these people attention, like if we keep giving this stuff attention, like this is like the whole thing that keep happening with Shannon Sharp. At this point, I feel like that he's doing this just to get more people to look at it.
I was gonna
he's
say
going
that.
back and forth with everybody.
You did say that.
I did say that. At some point, now everybody that runs up to Club Shay Shay is just want to spill the tea.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's not even, and then you start understanding, and it becomes just like an artist, right? I came on the pod a few weeks ago and said if when Ja Rule came up with Holla Holla, and that didn't really work, and then he came back with Every Little Thing That You Do, and he started singing, he realized that that's where his audience was.
Mm-hmm.
So every single that came out after that, it became a singing single. The same thing with Club Shay Shay. Now that he see what Cat Williams did, everybody that comes up there, he's gonna cater to what's the tea? What you gonna say? And then it becomes a bit salacious. Go ahead, La.
So can we ask a question? Do we think Club Shay Shay is like the black Jason Lee?
I would say no.
I don't think he's there yet.
Yeah, because Jason,
is that the trajectory at this point?
Jason Lee's built his brand off of being salacious and problematic in regards to being what was Howard Stern? A provocateur. Howard Stern was a provocateur, right? Where he'll say things and do things just to get people riled up.
Like the likes and the clicks, but it's good. But I mean, but the trajectory,
but not yet.
Is it going that way though?
I think like
Do you feel like
Tiffany
it's going
said.
that way?
I think like Tiffany said, not yet. If he catches it, then no.
Right.
These are just projections we're giving it based off of watching what Kat did, watching what Monique did, watching what what's your man name? What's his name? His didn't do too well though.
Usher?
No, not Usher. Before
Mike
Usher.
Epps?
He used to date Just Hilarious. Country Wayne. Country Wayne.
Country Wayne.
Country Wayne.
They get up there and they're sharing more tea and behind the scenes stuff. I just think Monique is.
But I guess the thing that I was pointing out was not even just that. It's now that he's starting to get upset because now people saying he's gay. He got into it with Mike Epps. He got into it with Mace. He's going back and forth with Mace right now. And it's like at this point, dude, like, why does it matter? Because everybody that winds up being famous and getting in the limelight gets hit with their gay type thing.
Right.
Everybody gets hit with the whole thing that they're gay. So it's like at what point, because I guess he said his sister was saying like, because I only say that because I listen to some of the stuff that him and Ocho be doing on the show, and Ocho is the yes man. Ocho is the oh yeah, I'm with it. Yeah, let's go. I'm the hype man, and I'm going along with. And it's like, yo, at this point, that's why I said I don't even take it serious no more because I'm sitting here listening to Ocho talk, and I'm like, what the hell are y'all doing? Y'all grown men up here going back and forth like y'all women about somebody saying that you gay. If you're not gay, why does it matter? Why does it matter if you ain't? If you, who cares? You just went viral off of some stuff that people came up and said on your podcast. You winning.
Let the win be the win. You ain't gotta add more sauce to it or rev it up because somebody gave you a gay said that you were gay. I get it. And something tells me that that's not the first time that he's been called gay, but I'll open that can of worms up on another pod. What I am interested in asking you guys is a very important question. Lala, you ladies don't need to particularly share your age, but something tells me that you ladies are adult, and the ladies that's listening, that's in the comments, that's far in there on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe, YouTube, Broadway the Giant, live on Broadway podcast. You ladies have had your fair share of experience and probably at this point figured out what you like versus what you dislike. Have said that and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not speaking from a place of knowing, I'm speaking from a place of inquiring, have particularly gotten past what's normal in the dating space and have said to yourself, well, I don't want to put me being successful on a man. I would be remiss if I didn't ask this question. You ladies are probably all 30 plus, respectfully. You probably all got your own jobs and get into your own bags, respectfully. You guys are probably making a nice and turning a nice coin. Hello, can I get a badge? Hello? You guys take great effort in your approach to looking good. I see you guys tonight. Lala got her hair pulled back. Tiff got the red lips. It's giving boss bitch. Hello? I mean, I'm just here. But I would be sadly remiss if I didn't ask a very pivotive. What are you talking about tonight? Pivotal question of why does it seem as though women that have their shit together can't keep a man? Hello? I'm confused. I'll be looking up the block. Remember when Martin used to come in as Jerome? I said Jerome's in the house.
I said Jerome's in the house.
I be looking, and before I was taken, being an old player from the Himalayas, I used to say to myself, the woman tagline used to be, yo, I don't need you for anything. I got my own blah, blah, blah. But as I look up and check the scoreboard, I be looking and feeling or thinking rather. So it seems that women with their shit together can't seem to keep a man. So to that, far and near, I yield to the room. Why is that? Hello.
Let me answer that real quick. And I ain't one of those women, just a FYI. But you know what? It's some real internal shit because I know a lot of women like that. Houses, cars, educated. Okay, cool, but can't save a relationship worth a damn. And that's because them not having it all together, kind of like, I don't know if it's perfectionism or...
Turn my hat around. I'll make sure I hear every word that come out your mouth.
Yeah, it seems like those are the women that one, because there's not just one answer for that, honestly. Those are some overachieving women who feel like if they don't have everything at 100%, then they're not willing to lower their standards. They're not willing to compromise, which leaves them alone. Two, they've probably been hurt so bad in the past and expected men to help them out or do for them. And when they didn't, they was like, you know what, fuck it. I'm going to just do me. I'm going to get my own. I don't need you for nothing because, you know, they've been burnt. They've been hurt and disappointed. So, you know, when they get an inkling of that somebody has the potential to do that again, they're like, whatever, sabotage the relationship. Or I don't know, just bad luck. But it's not one straight answer, but those are my top three. Perfectionist, been hurt, and just bad luck in relationships.
Fuck is you
what you got, Lala?
Several things.
Are you dumb?
There's a control issue. There's a lack of accountability over themselves. They choose the wrong men. I would have to agree with Tiff and say perfectionism. I think that a lot of those type of women, they have a false sense of standard when it comes to the type of men that they want. They feel like, or a false sense of standard about themselves, like who they are. And I think, like, they be like, oh, I'm a bad bitch, I'm independent, like the whole I don't need you, da 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 da. I feel like a lot of times when they get into relationships, they emasculate and they don't realize it, or they do realize it and they don't care. It's a plethora of reasons. So I don't know.
So let me ask you this, Broadway. Are you mainly trying to hear from women about this?
No. You are.
No, I'm just saying because
no.
I'll hold what I gotta say. I got my wife right here. She said something. Would you like to hear her?
You do a big black bear wipe his ass with a fluffy white rabbit in the middle of the woods while taking a shit? You motherfucking right. I want to hear from her. Exactly. Yes.
Okay, she right here. I'll let her say what she's gonna say. Here you go. Okay. Yeah, I got you. She just gonna say it. She's not.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you. So I feel like the main issue when it comes to that is that when a woman has gotten to the point where she's done everything by herself, she's gotten the money, she's gotten the car, she's doing her own thing. When a man comes in, she no longer knows where his purpose and his place is. So they begin to run them off. They start to, I don't really need you here for this. I've already kind of done this before.
All right, hold on. Quell, face it back to you. There you go. Go ahead. We hear you, Queen.
Oh,
yeah, he just wanted me to put it back on me.
Yeah, so it comes down to you've done it so much that you don't know the roles anymore. You don't have a purpose behind why that man even needs to be there. So when they try to come in to become the leader in the household, you don't know how to necessarily commit to that, or a better lack of terms, how can you put that? Which like most people don't like to say, hear them say that, but submit to that, because you're so used to going about doing everything on your own, getting your money. I don't need a man to do this, so of course you're going to run them away.
So stay right there. Stay right there, First Lady Quell. So my question becomes, because with that logic at hand, it seems like I hear a lot of times too, I want to be with someone. This is what women say. I want to be with someone who can make me be feminine, that can make me be submissive, that can come along and give me the confidence that he has it all together, so that I don't have to have it all together. But if I'm listening to you, it sounds like it doesn't matter what he has or don't have, because she's already predetermined in what she has. To that you would say,
I guess he was saying to that you would say, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. To that, how would you respond to that?
You already got it in your mindset. So you're so closed-minded at that point that you're not going to let new opportunities come into a rise. So you're going to run every single person that comes into your life away. You're not open-minded at that point to learn anything new, to try anything new, because you're always
been there already.
You already been there.
And not only that, you're putting the responsibility and having the expectation of that man to make him rest in your femininity, where you're not taking the responsibility to do it upon yourself.
Well, that's the biggest problem. Women always
that's not his job. You should already be in your feminine energy when he comes to you. Like I said last week, the Bible says.
Don't get me quoting my Bible now.
The Bible says that wives are to submit unto their husbands, but husbands are to submit unto their wives. That's equal give and take. That's equal reciprocity.
No, it's not.
Right?
No, it's not.
Right. So when you have a high value woman like that, they run like your lovely wife just said. They run them off because they're so into their masculine energy that they don't want to fall back into their feminine energy. They refuse to do it.
But in fairness for the ladies, you guys have had to assume the role of responsibility and what that looks like by way of assuming the role as a man, that when you do something for so long, it becomes second nature, and
it's a choice, Broadway. You can still do it.
Listen,
it's a choice.
I'm playing angel advocate, as you say, right? Because it is a choice, and I'm trying to give a little bailout to the ladies because
there is no bail.
I think that. Oh, great example. Over the weekend, I saw Rick Ross post something about Christina Mackey, right? Meaning he was posting her clothes and posting her business and supporting her business because everything that she does is Bel Air this, Rick Ross that. And she, by large numbers, pours into supporting his business. So I thought it was very nice to see and refreshing to see him pick up and wear her sweaters, her Body by Mackie sweaters and hats and body contouring, wood shaping things and whatever. We need, the reason why I bring her up is because a lot of people say she's a pick me, right? But as Lala said, pick me, right? You be something for your significant other based off of your significant other. Everybody don't get the same treatment. You got to read between the room. Quell, your wife became such because you identified high value in her, but that don't mean it's one and the same as mean apples to apples as to what your high value is.
So the thing that the problem and the onus that I will put on dudes or men is that they don't have a purpose on why the woman's even there. They don't even understand why they want a woman. See, a lot of times we have.
Wait. Let that breathe. That boy cooking. He said the South got something to say. Talk to me.
But it's just a simple fact that a lot of people have a relationship, or a lot of guys in particular have a woman just for the sake of having a woman. They don't even know why that woman's there. They don't know why they have them there. They don't have an understanding on what they're gonna have them to do. So it's like we want these submissive women, but you don't even got any work for them to do in the first place.
Be submissive to what?
Mm-hmm. And a lot of times they don't even have purpose for themselves.
Right. What? It's almost like saying it's almost like saying I'm going to write a will. What you willing off? What you got? You ain't got nothing.
Yep.
What you accomplish,
even
Hello?
The whole argument that people make about divorce, about losing things. Most people don't have enough to be losing anything. Mm-hmm. Most dudes don't got enough to be worrying about being put on alimony or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't worry about that because when you start talking about people having to go to access court to start sitting up access, you're talking about the upper 1%. You're not talking about people that's making average
Hello?
salaries.
Mm-hmm.
So when dudes talking about, I'm not getting married because I'm gonna lose this and I'm gonna lose that. Dude, you ain't got nothing to lose.
You don't have anything to lose. Mm-hmm.
You probably what was the first conversation we had about what we said competition, right? Mm-hmm. You don't got nothing to she's running laps around you. Stop letting your ego stop conflating your ego with having things. You don't have nothing. You have no things. What are you? I'm confused. Live on Broadway podcast.
I'm just saying that from the simple fact that I know a lot of cats that be doing that and they be worrying about the wrong things, and you be worrying about when you haven't even gotten a relationship. You're all the way at divorce when you don't even have a girlfriend. You ain't having sex. You ain't kicking it with nobody. You ain't doing nothing.
Hello.
You ain't leaving your house. You own the game. You a Call of Duty warrior and a 2K champion. And a Madden team out there trying to tell a woman what she should or shouldn't be doing and how she should want you and why she should pick you and all this other stuff. And you ain't even left your basement.
Only thing you know how to pick is square, triangle, circle, and X.
Right, PlayStation. Hello?
I know that's right, girl.
Right?
So I'm just saying that because I get sick of hearing it. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people can't find anybody because they don't leave an hour radius outside of where they live at to find someone. You pick from the same bad bunch that everybody else picks from, and then all of a sudden, all women are bad, all men are bad, and women ain't shit and men ain't shit because you don't pick wrong, because you picked out of everybody out of the small circle, and you haven't made yourself to have the ability to be able to pick outside of that. Then now we're talking about passport bros and passport women, and we're leaving the country before you even left your state.
Wait. Not too much on the passport bros because I got dual citizenship in Senegal and America, and I will fly out of here if my lady asks, baby, you act up. I'm going to get I'm going to Africa. Just play. Just play it. Fun story. I opened that can of worms up, but I do have dual citizenship in Senegal. I'll wake that up another day. Has anybody been watching this Donald Trump fiasco? Okay. Has anybody been watching Fani Willis take the stand?
I've seen some of it.
Okay.
Oh, God.
Does anybody follow Plies? Hello?
I do.
So Fani goes on stand, and Allison, can you send me Fani on stage, please, so I can play that? Because Fani Willis takes the stand. I'm gonna see if I can find it too, because I got it. Let's see who can get it first. Allie, please, because it's some of the best commentary, some of the most enticing and best content. Oh, okay. I think this is it. Live on Broadway podcast. It's not playing? Is it me? Oh, here you go.
We would go to dinner. I never paid him anything other than cash. I've only given him cash a few times in the course of what we're talking about. So if we would go to dinner,
let her finish her answers.
If we would go to dinner, I wouldn't give him cash because he paid for dinner or I paid for dinner. I've given him cash only a few times in life, probably 4. Okay. Probably the most money I've ever handed him is $2,500. The least amount of money I've handed him, probably between $500 and $1,000.
You never wrote him a check?
Ma'am, I don't have checks.
Okay. Never paid him any.
No, look, I object to you getting records. You've been intrusive into people's personal lives. You're confused. You think I'm on trial. These people are on trial for trying to steal an election in 2020. I'm not on trial, no matter how hard you try to put me on trial.
So my question was, do you have any problem?
I object to getting any personal records of mine.
We're not dealing with privilege through a witness.
And I'm not, no, I'm not dealing with privilege. What we had offered to put them in camera for the court to review, and I just want to know if she has any
That's
problem.
not something you deal with a witness.
No, look.
When did he come to, I guess, the condo? I'm not sure what you called it, condo apartment. Would he come and stay at that condo or visit you there? I'm sorry, visit you there.
What condo, what apartment? I want to be clear.
So not your house. I know you classified one as house and one as condo, so I'm trying to use those terms.
So there's been more see, what you don't understand is because of this case, I got to move. And so I
Ms. Merchant, if you could ask a more precise question.
Yes, please, give me the time period.
Mr. Wade visited you at the place you laid your head.
When?
Has he ever visited you at the place you laid your head?
So let's be clear.
When Did he come?
Let's be clear, because you lied in this. Let me tell you which one you lied in. Right here. I think you lied right here. No. This is the truth, Judge. And it is a lie. It is a lie.
Ms. Willis? Mr. Sena, thank you. We're going to take 5 minutes.
And just when you thought it couldn't get no worse, watch this. Did y'all see that? Yo, Fani is the GOAT. Yo, I never heard of a witness say, I'm not on trial. The whole sister came out of that queen, but the plot thickens because the good brother Plies jumps on social media, and thank you for that, Allie. And
Shout out to the Gemini.
And the good brother Plies, let's just play Plies.
And the Willis. Fani Willis. Fani and the Willis. I didn't want you to know Fani. After the day, me seeing you on that stand, Fani, you the first person I seen in my life on that stand that turned me on. I ain't never seen nothing like it, Fani. Fani, listen, it's what I'm telling you. The lawyer on your firm that you paid them $600,000 allegedly. Fani, you ain't even gotta pay me. I'm gonna pay you. After the day, Fani, I'm gonna pay you. You ain't gotta pay me, Fani. Fani, I wanna pay you. Fani, you laid back in that chair, you had a little finger like that with that little pink shirt on, and then people ask you them questions, whatever say. Fani, I see. Fani jumped up. No. Since you want to talk about it, let's talk about it. Fani,
I'm so weak.
Wait. The plot thickens.
Everything. I'm just waking up.
This is day 2.
But listen, first thing I just cut on the news right now. Breaking news. Them people say they don't even want to talk to Fani, did they? they say no. The other side, I'm just watching on the news. The other side say no. We don't need her to take the stand today. We ain't got no more questions for Miss Willis. I said that goddamn Fani turned up so hard yesterday.
You now listening to Live on Broadway podcast.
They don't even want to talk to Fani today. They say that's it. We don't want to see no more of Miss Willis. And listen, I keep telling Kamala, if you somewhere watching, I keep telling you, Kamala, that's all you got to do is give us a little Fani. Well, you ain't got to be 100% Fani, but you got to give her 35. Give her 35% of that Fani. These people will leave you alone, Kamala. All you got to do is give her 35% of that Fani Willis. And that's from here on out. When I'm ready to go home, I've been dying with that. All right.
And this is day 3.
Oh my God, he did 3 days of this?
Yes.
Oh my God. I'm so weak.
Oh shit.
Oh my God.
Forget what he says. Forget about it. My whole point inside saying this is is Plus crushing on Fani? Because then there's some tweets that went out. There's some tweets that went out with Plies saying, I'll do my best to read it. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas and John Roberts oh shucks, I'm dying over here, Nas. Can you plug me up? Can receive illegal gifts and take illegal trips with no consequences or any hearings. But Fani has to prove her innocence before she's able to prosecute the crime mob for who tried to steal the election. All right, hold on. Here you go. After watching Fani Willis on the stand, I'm turned on. This is what Pla said. After watching Fani Willis take the stand, I'm turned on. I know that's a good thing. Fani hired me, I'll work for free. Yo, this boy Plies is hilarious. He's hilarious. I want Fanny the free thug. But outside of that, I got to see about Fani Willis. Ain't never been this turned on in my life. I know she, can I say this now? I know she smelled good too. And I don't know what he's alluding to smelling. But I'll leave it there. Yo, watching Plies cover this, watching Nas, watching Plies cover this has been some of the most comedic content gold. This boy gets in his bag and he's crushing on Fani Willis. Lala, any thoughts on this, please?
No. He's a Gemini.
He's a Gemini. That's all I get.
What you get with us?
Yo, I'm weak. I'm weak. Fanny.
That's hilarious.
Oh my God. Outside of that, we got some.
I'm not on trial.
Yo, she the whole sister came out of her, and then she winks her eye at the end to let her lawyers know I got this in the bag. I got this. Oh man, let's open up the platform for final thoughts. Live on Broadway podcast. Final thoughts. We've been around the world and and we could find out, baby. I don't know and I don't know why. Why I'm gonna quit and I don't know. Listen, final thoughts. We had a few conversations. We talked about Tiffany Red speaks out against Beyonce in the publishing community, being a writer in the industry. We spoke about Monique. We spoke about quite a few things, in fact, right? We also spoke about the simple reason of why he can't love you. Because he's in competition with you. You get me? We also touched in and tapped in and learned why women with their shit together, respectfully, can't seem to keep them in. Lala, final thoughts, Queen.
Yeah. This was a very eclectic podcast we had tonight.
That's a great choice of words.
Yeah, final thoughts on me. I guess I'm the last one standing, huh?
And Giant, jump in the comment section while Lala puts her final thoughts up. Jump in the comment section. Let us know your final thoughts. We'll read them. I see you guys tapping in.
Final thoughts. Yeah. So we were both in the biz. So I feel like, when it comes to publishing rights, I think the writers, need to get their just due. That's just my final thought on that. It just takes a lot for the writing process. Just like the artists need their just due, but just the process of writing a song, it takes a lot. And so just like you have equal reciprocity in love relationships, it needs to be equal reciprocity in business relationships. And that's just how I feel about that.
Wake that up.
Songwriting is a part of the music business. And that's intellectual property. Just like when they had, you made a perfect example when they had the whole boycott with the writers this past summer. That's their intellectual property. So I don't see anything different about it. With Monique, Monique, I love you, but it's giving Uncle Grandpa and incestuous toxicity, and I would like it to stop. It's cringeworthy at this point. Y'all, I just want your family. I pray you well. I just want your family to heal. I want you and your eldest son to just come together with love and light and to just heal.
Make it make sense.
Because it doesn't. Claude, fellow Jim, I love you. And you're hilarious. What else? What was it? Oh, yeah.
The reason why he can't keep you,
Oh,
he
yeah.
can't love you because he's in competition with you.
I think that's just because he's in competition. You can't love somebody you're in competition with. You can be a motivation with that person. You can motivate them to be their best selves, their higher selves. But if you are in competition with them, it's just going to lead to the downfall of the relationship. That's just my personal opinion. But if you want someone to succeed, you know, you got to bring them up with you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your teammate. You know, that's not your enemy. So there's that. And yeah, my final thought.
Final thoughts on Broadway. I'm in agreement with Tiffany Red. I think, you know, when it comes to being in the space of simply being a writer, and that process does take time. It takes a lot of time. And it's your story. And you're just, or you're listening to somebody else and you're building it from their story. Right? I do believe the artist should receive some type of money from it, but not as, or some type of percent from it, but not as large as a third, not as large as 25%. I will go no more than 7%. Right? Because you're getting paid from performances, the writer isn't. You're getting paid by way of selling records. The artist is not. Well, the artist is, but when they are, but when it gets into the streaming space, the artist don't really make no money based off of, the writer don't really make no money based off of the streams, because the streams are 0. Like, what does a stream even really equate to? You know what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? So the artists don't really make that much money because we're not the writer, excuse me. The writer don't make that much money because we're not selling physical CDs and cassettes no more. Everything is streaming. So if streaming is 0.2, 0.7%, is less than a penny on a screen. Right? So I'm definitely in agreement with Tiffany Red. I do think that men being in competition with women is a problem. And I think that also showcases his femininity in a manner of which it shouldn't be highlighted. There's nothing wrong with being tapped in with our both masculine and feminine qualities, but I do think that there's an issue when we become competitive with one another, because much could be said in regards to a woman being masculine and exuding testosterone for a man. I think that that's problematic. You're not here to compete with me, baby. You're here to motivate me. I'm here to motivate you. You're here to pour into me. I'm here to pour into you. Words of affirmation, right? 5 love languages. Read it. Plaz, I want to have a conversation with you real quick. Because you are one of my favorite people to follow. Please keep up the good work. We've seen Yo Gotti manifest himself in a way to get Angela Simmons. I hope that you get Fani. And you do something else with that Fani. It's very sad to see Monique do what she does and make a moment out of everything. Because then it becomes, you did it with Tyler Perry, you did it with Oprah, you did it when you when they was doing what they was doing with you in regards to Precious. Lee Daniels, you did it with Lee Daniels. Thank you. And now here you are again airing out your dirty laundry. Here's a secret. The world don't care to know. Keep us out the group chat. Ladies, my Mercedes, hold 4 in the back, 2 if you're fat. Going back to the masculinity, you can't keep a man because you're leading with that. There's nothing wrong with simply acknowledging or not being with someone if they're not evenly yoked as you. And when I say even, I don't mean 1-to-1. I don't mean you got a master's, he has to have a master's. I don't mean that. I mean, rest in your femininity and let him rest in his masculinity. If you can't find a man that's gonna rest in his masculinity, stop bragging about having your shit together. Stop it. We're tired of hearing it. I don't even have to deal with it, and I'm tired of hearing about it. And we didn't get into Glorilla fangirling after Damian Lillard at All-Star Weekend because I said I didn't know if you guys wanted to hear that in particular, but shout out to Glorilla. I hope everybody gets the person that they're crushing on, be with them in holy matrimony. I think Damian Lillard divorced his wife back in 2023, last year. So he might be, that might be a lick for Glorilla, right? Yeah, Glow. Hey, that's my, yeah, Glow. I'm gonna play it. That's my joint. Listen, Live on Broadway podcast. I appreciate you guys tapping in with us tonight. Hopefully we added value in the platform. The distinguished gentlemen and women that joined us tonight was able to add value and teach you a little bit more and give you insight as to what it's like to be a man and deal with women, as well as be a woman and deal with men. And we're solution-based, so I think that we did a great job at unpacking some things tonight. Thank you, Lala. It's always a pleasure to have you in your infectious and loving smile and energy. Your laughter resonates for miles and miles. Shout out, special shout out to our YouTube viewership. Make sure you guys continue to tap in, like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to be working on some things behind the scenes to develop some Patreon content that's exclusively just for you. Everybody can't get it. It's just for you. We're going to work on some things in 2024 that's going to be bringing you guys a lot of content with different people in studio, right? Different voluptuous, jean-fitting, pole-grabbing, genuine, groping, moving characters, right? So we got to keep it fair. We got to have eye candy for the ladies, eye candy for the men, right? So Live on Broadway podcast, I appreciate you guys joining us tonight. Y'all know my vibe. Y'all know my body. Y'all know my saying. It's cheaper to be yourself. Be giant. Pool.
Click.
Do you have relationship questions you need answered? Spicy topics? DM us at Live on Broadway Podcast. Have music, products, or an ad you want us to run? Email us at Live on Broadway Podcast. Be sure to tap in. Mondays, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Live on IM_Broadway's Instagram. Clear.